Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another episode. Welcome back to the Underground. It's been quite a while since the last episode. I figured with the conclusion of YCS Las Vegas, as well as an upcoming list confirmed for the OCG later this week, I figured it's more than a good time as ever to update you guys on Malice. So you probably already seen it, but Thrift showcased his bestial Fiendsmith Malice list, and one important topic of the day is he is not playing TB-11. And funnily enough, he's not even the first person to do this. This was from the Frankfurt Regional last week, and this was a very similar list, very similar concept, and the only trap was the 07. And adding to that, this has also been happening in the OCG as well. We have multiple lists that are not playing TB-11. So what happened? Is TB-11 a bad card? Is the card just not worth running anymore? Well, I'm gonna show you something that happened to me this past weekend. This was one scenario that I had against Ryziel. I had Rabbit in my graveyard and I had these two cards set. They normal summoned Sword Ryziel and then they special X'd. And this is what happened. I activated 06, I brought back the Rabbit, and with Rabbit, I set the 11, and then I flipped the 11, and since my opponent controls 3 monsters, I summoned Ramson with the 11. And after that concluded, the Rabbit came back, and then I used the 07 to banish the Rabbit, add the Dormouse, and since I control a Link monster, I banished his Ryziel, and this pretty much ended his turn because the in order to run over this Ramson, he has to crash the Sword Ryziel. So that's not to say that 11 is a bad card. Now, let's go with the origin story. Let's show how this all started. So this is going to be a typical Malice combo, the one that involves 11. And we've seen this combo like a bunch of times in the past. This is one of those combos where if everything resolves, like you're getting so much card advantage. Those tokens underneath involves every card drawn throughout our combo. So yeah, like this combo draws us 4 cards, has 06, and has SP and Abao. And this was all one Dormouse. Now, let's showcase what people are doing now as opposed to what they were doing before. So we're going to do Dormouse and we're going to do Rabbit, but instead of 11, we're setting 06. And then we're going to do very similar plays. However, we're not going to Ramson. We're going to White Binder. And this is a trend that I've already spoken on a past episode. But we've been seeing this trend more and more as time goes on, and that is the cusp behind the Fiendsmith list the TCG players are doing. Basically, their conclusion is that if you have White Binder and 06 in rotation, you just don't need anything else. But there are other reasons why TB-11 is starting to get cut. If you look here, this is what a typical hand would look like. Out of these 3 traps, you would think that TB-11 is the best choice. But here's the problem with the TB-11. it loses to so many hand traps. And all these hand traps that you're seeing on the screen, they're all being played heavily. Like, it's susceptible to Ash Blossom, it's susceptible to Koalas. Like, Dominus Impulse can negate 11 as well. And that's not to say that Dominus Impulse is the main issue, because you can use Dominus Impulse from the 06 as well. And you can use Ash Blossom to negate 07. But the fact that it's so vulnerable to so many cards just makes you believe that maybe there's a world where you just don't play TB-11. I already showcased you a good example of TB-11 being played and what you should be doing if you fall into a scenario like this. So now you're gonna ask yourself the question, is TB-11 worth cutting from your deck? Like, is it really worth not following the trend? Another note that I kind of want to make, and this involves the OCG list. Like, for example, here, you see sign-up mining and you see the Marsh Hare. And there are other engines that you will see later on. Like, for example, you see the added Nister engine in the side deck, which is kind of interesting. Both these players did this. I think we're at a point where we just have good enough extenders to justify not using 11 as an extender anymore. The problem with the Binder 06 play is that this play doesn't work if you're just doing a one-card combo. If you don't open additional extenders, there's no point in doing the 06 Binder line because you're not going to get any farther than this unless you want to risk getting into Nibiru territory. So if you look here at the top of the screen, you see that this is pretty much a 10-card engine. And you now see it mixed with Fiendsmith in the TCG, while in the OCG you see it mixed with the Adagnister cards and with the Alliance Insight extenders. But I believe that moving forward, if we get more and more good extenders in the game, this theory is not incorrect. However, I do wish for the viewers to proceed with caution. Post Alliance Insight, we're getting the Malice in the Mirror. And this card is really powerful if you pair it with TB-11. If you don't play TB-11 in your deck, the value behind this card is going to be significantly dwindled. So maybe there is a world in the OCG, like for example, in this list, you don't see the mirror spell here either. And neither on this list. So there is a world where you just don't play the mirror spell. So that is like one PSA that I'm going to give. If you are going to play mirror, you have to play TB-11. You could play mirror without 11, but it's just going to make your engine a lot weaker. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. By the time of this recording, it's going to be the 14th week after our format has begun. So I can't dwell enough whether or not the Fiendsmith engine is valid in like Malice in the near future, because there is a possibility that this engine is not going to be as consistent if we get a Forbidden Limited list. That's not to say that there are other engines that doesn't work with this deck. Like the Sky Striker engine could come back into the game if the Fiendsmith engine gets gutted. Post Alliance Insight, the Adignister engine is going to be really good as well, alongside Sided Mining. And if you've been on this channel, you already know that I've been on Dangers for a while now. So I do believe that there is a world where Dangers are just going to become even stronger and stronger as extenders. And if the Forbidden Limited list ends up unlimiting Jackalope and Tsushinoko, trust me when I say you will see this engine being played in this deck, like in the near future. At least from this channel, you will. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover today. I hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. More videos coming soon. Keep practicing and keep dueling.